All right, Ian, you know we're the official poker news podcast sometimes.
Oh,
as well.
okay.
So this is something we'll bring up real quick. I'm not sure how far we're going to get with this. A poker lawsuit filed. Live game cheating. Allegedly scandal. Poker players file a $30 million lawsuit against suspected cheaters Mike Postle and Justin Corrades. Lawsuit also lists King's Casino, owner of Stone's Gambling Hall, and other unnamed conspirators as plaintiffs. Okay. So they do a lot of these live poker events nowadays aren't on TV anymore. They stream a lot of them. And there's a huge audience for watching cash games, streamed live.
Right.
So this is a controversy with a player named Mike Postle, who was a regular at this Stone's Gambling Hall at the live streams. And usually these games happen the same similar format as you see on TV. You have commentators. You can see everything, the hole cards, the percentages. It's really amazing that they really switched the TV production to the internet. So what's happened, what's been revealed the past couple of weeks is there's a serious allegation against this player Mike Postle for cheating, and this is what's been going on. Mike Postle, and these aren't extremely high stakes as far as I know. These are $5 and $10 blinds here, which means that big blind $10, small blind $5. You can still play big pots if it's no limit. But this is what's been happening. This particular player has had all his winning records at these games tracked, and he's like one of the best players in the world according to all the stats in terms of he's won. I think it was 16 out of 17 appearances he won. He was in the positive, and for any player, good or bad, that's incredible to have that many winning sessions. And then when they started examining particular hands, it started to get strange because he was making laydowns and folding like hands that you wouldn't expect a regular player to fold, and he was betting hands that you would not expect a player to ever fold. To play. There was one hand in particular that was studied, and go look at there's a bunch of poker YouTube channels that are big channels that do news. But one hand in particular where he played out of the open, he had a 5-4. And then there was two players that were raising that both had ace-king. Now, if one player has ace-king and you have a 5-4, you're screwed. You're going to lose, you're going to lose 80 to 90% of the time. But if two players even have an ace-king, that eliminates their chance of getting a pair, obviously. It cuts it in half because they both have the same cards. He played that 5-4 in that spot. And even the announcers at the time were like, well, this is interesting. What's going on? So there was a lot of plays like that happened where you wouldn't do that even if you were a high-end player. You wouldn't play. So they started examining the footage more. They started noticing that this player, Mike, was staring at his crotch during matches where his phone was. And these were live playings where phones were supposed to be banned from these. They're supposed to be banned entirely. Just no phones because of potential cheating, which how do you do that? But then also, just whatever, distraction, whatever. Well, they never really enforced it. So he'd be looking at his crotch during hands and then going up and then betting. And they've started to analyze more and more with this stuff. Doug Polk is a big and really funny YouTube poker commentator, and he plays professionally, and he's been looking at this as well. So then they figured out. So one of the players that this guy played with in these live sessions figured out how this could potentially could get done. So this is the thing, Ian. All the cards that are made for these telecasts have an RFID chip in them to identify the particular card in the deck.
Gotcha.
That's how you know when people are looking what cards they put on the screen.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
It's not by just a camera. That originally I think they did it by looking at the camera, but now it's automatic. You can't be off. They all have an individual chip in the deck to know. And it's registered with the producer, so they know, and it all comes out. So it's not someone manually saying, "Oh, ace of clubs, oh, 7 of hearts." It's automatic.
All tracked. Yeah.
So it's tracked somewhere in the back. They have it. They have that information. So it was revealed there's a way to do this. That you could send someone a URL if you had the information from the RFD reader. You could send it to someone, and they can bring it up on a web browser and view it.
Oh.
They could view the whole cards of everyone. So then things started getting weirder.
Gross.
So then and then here's the thing. It's just like a blue screen, and it's literally like looking at an old style computer game. It's like, player 1, these 2 cards, player 2, these 2 cards, player 3, these cards. So then they actually found a screenshot of Mike Postle's phone having a blue screen. Like the same, like we're talking like blue screen of death blue, like it's particular. So this is why this lawsuit's going forward, because this is a huge scandal where you have someone cheating who's playing, but also for the way for this to happen, allegedly Mike would have to have been in cahoots with someone from the production team. That's the only way for this to be possibly be occurring.
Boy,
it's really, really, really dirty.
Yeah.
Really dirty. And it doesn't look good, because the arguments from professional poker players is like, if this guy Mike is this incredible, why is he playing such low stakes? Why isn't he playing high stakes? If he's this good, he can be winning hundreds of thousands of dollars, not just winning thousands or 10,000 when he shows up. The whole thing just stinks to high heaven here. Like, this is bad.
Yeah, that's gross.
Matt Berkey, he was the guy that demonstrated, there's a YouTube video, he demonstrated how someone could potentially do this, and it looks like he could potentially be right, because he's actually a guy that's worked with RFID stuff in his career.
So he understands it.
And he's been around it. And so now, this is the thing, is that I don't recall this ever happening before. There's been poker players accused of angle cheating or trying to, fake fold to look at cards before, or do things like that, or it's called angle shooting, but not being in cahoots with a production company using technology to know what other players are playing. That, I mean, if this was the Old West, people would be shot for doing.
Yeah,
you'd be shot for this stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, there is an honor amongst poker players where, like, cheating is heavily, or even angle shooting and like trying to get an edge in certain weird ways is heavily frowned upon.
Yeah,
here.
that person's not going to do well.
So if this goes to a lawsuit, and if they bring in a third party to investigate this is bad for this casino. It's bad for the production company. It's obviously bad for Mike Postle. Let's see. His high win rate resulted in more than $300,000 in estimated profit, according to this article on CardPlayer.com. It's more than six times what some of the top players expect to earn. So he is outperforming the top-end professionals at these games. So look into it. Watch Doug Polk's video, and Doug Polk's a funny guy as well. His commentary is really good on this stuff. Is it interesting? I think it's fascinating.
It is. It's wild. I don't have a lot to say on it because I don't know much about that stuff, but that's crazy. I mean,
there's a potential.
The amount of cooperation that has to be going on is.
It's someone in the production team that has to say, okay, here's what we have on our reader. We're going to send it to you on your. It has to be, I think, like an Android phone to do it. It has to be like Internet Explorer or something like that. I watch Matt Berkey's video as well, because he goes through it, and it seems like he could be on the money with this. And there's also libel lawsuits thrown on top, because now the people that are coming out for this, Stones Casino has said, oh, this fabrication, they're making it up. So there's like, this is a fraud lawsuit against Mike Postle and Stone Gambling Casino and this Curatus, who I believe is the producer, for potentially covering this up as well. All right, interesting poker topic.